Where they at? 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 Come on now. If you wanna go and take a ride with me, we three willing in the four with the goldies. Oh, right.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8:49 on a beautiful Tuesday morning. Love the blue sky. Little tired this morning. Went to the Centennial Concert Hall last night with my wife for a date night to see the Piano Guys. Unbelievable show. You guys have to go check them out on YouTube. Just, the talent, the skill that those guys have. Just, I've been following them for the last couple of years. Stumbled across them and been hooked ever since. So if you get an opportunity, go check out or Google search the Piano Guys on YouTube, and I'm sure you'll become a fan as well. Anyways, bit of a busy day today. More so a lot of driving. I'm starting out here in EK on Larson Avenue, and then I'm headed into Fort Richmond to Garnet Bay, and then I'm going to do a unique house out in Gimli again. Well, a different house this time. But so a lot of driving today, but it's a beautiful day, and I'm looking forward to a great day. So it's 10:06 in the morning. I'm headed to Fort Richmond, and I just wanted to talk to all you home sellers out there. One thing I've been hearing a lot about this year is pricing too high. This client wants X amount of dollars when their house is only worth this, or the sellers want to set the price. And a lot of times it's well over what the market will sustain or the market will hold. And I think, if you're working with a realtor, you really need to listen to your realtor. And if you're doing it by yourself and you're planning to sell privately, really look at the comparables in your area. And a lot of us that are selling our homes, if you're trying to sell it yourself, you're gonna think that your house is worth more than everybody else's, and that's because you're biased to your home. And get some opinions. Have other people walk through your house that maybe have sold their home privately. Talk to realtors. I'm biased. I support realtors. I work with realtors, but I also know that I don't want to sell my home myself. I don't have the time for it. And I would rather hire someone to do it. Yes, you're going to be paying thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. But I'm, just the same reason why people hire me. I'm a professional photographer, a professional real estate photographer. That I understand photography. I understand quite a bit of the real estate market, but I will never pretend to be a realtor. If anybody asks me, should I sell my home myself? I tell them the pros and cons that I've learned, and I will refer them to realtors. Interview some of them. Don't just pick the first one and go with it. Talk to 3, 4, 5, 6 realtors. Get their opinions. And, really when you're interviewing them, make sure they're not just feeding you what you want to hear, and they're not just going to go with, they show you the comparables and then you tell them, well, no, I want 20 grand more, and they just go with it. Make sure they're explaining to you, okay, if you want $20,000 more, we're probably going to be on the market a lot longer. Is that okay with you? If you want 10 grand more, are you okay with making another 6 months worth of mortgage payments? Look at all of those things, because it is costing you money. If you price your home out of the range of the market, you're still carrying your mortgage. So, that 10, 15, $20,000 might only be a net of $6,000 after you've paid another 3, 4, 5, 6 months worth of mortgage payments. So, you know, and like a house I got into this morning, the house is huge, 6-bedroom house, you know, brand new, and it's huge. And there was no furniture in it. It wasn't staged. And, you know, the homeowner doesn't want to stage it, you know, because they've already spent enough money. But, you know, I heard that the house had already been on the market for a bit of time. And, you know, it's a tough house to sell where it is, because people aren't really looking for that style of home in that area. But then I was talking to a client after that shoot where, you know, I'm going to be doing video and photos for, you know, another $1 million house in the next couple of weeks here, and they want to price it $300,000 over what the market says it should be at, you know, based on comparables. You know, it's, do your homework if you're selling it yourself. Make sure you understand, get an appraisal, you know, don't really go, your property assessment can be skewed, you know, negative or positive. So if you're planning to sell it yourself, I recommend getting an appraisal. And if you're planning to use a realtor, you know, listen to them. They do this for a living, and, you know, they're giving you advice on trying to get your home sold as quickly as possible. And, you know, a lot of people think, oh, they get paid too much. Well, actually, they don't get paid anything unless they sell your house. So if, you know, if they go with you and say, okay, sure, we'll list your house $300,000 over. Oh, sure, we'll list it over, you know, $20,000 over, and it sits on the market 3 months, and you get pissed off at them because they didn't sell your house. Well, they don't get paid. You know, so do what's in your best interest to get your home sold as quickly as possible, and listen to the people. Do your homework, and you know, you'll get your home sold in a timely manner. Now, going on all the talk about, you know, listening to your realtor and, you know, pricing your home properly, that is the most important thing. Making sure it's priced properly. That is the number one factor. But there are some things that you can do to help sell your home faster. And, you know, curb appeal. You know, that's the first thing that people are going to see when they pull up to your home. So if you've got garbage bags kicking around the front yard, or your grass is brown, you know, I know in winter and in spring and fall, you know, the grass is brown, there's not much you can do about that. But, you know, if you've got eaves troughs hanging, and I've seen it, I've seen all sorts of crap. And, you know, make sure your yard's cleaned up so that when they first pull up or they pull into the driveway, you know, you can give them that instant wow factor. Next thing is, especially for smaller homes, I've been in a lot of smaller homes lately that have a ton of furniture in them, and large furniture. Yes, that may be good for you and your family, and it's tough to declutter because you're still living in your home and it still is your home. But try and declutter, try and, you know, get furniture or rearrange furniture, remove furniture that is going to make it, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Appropriate for the size of rooms you're trying to display. If you have a billion knickknacks and stuff, put them in boxes. Get a storage container, get a pod, you know, stick them in closets, put them in your laundry room. You know, those are some important things for getting your inside, you know, cleaned up. If you got kids, yeah, I know it's tough when you have kids. I've got 2, and to keep your house clean all the time for showings can be very difficult. But, you know, make sure there's, you know, toys are put away. If you've got pets, vacuum once a day, mop. Anything you can do to keep your house as clean and tidy as possible. Make your bed. Put your toothbrushes away, toilet seats down before you leave to, you know, to let the people in for the showing. And same for you sellers, or you private sellers. do all these things to showcase your home in the best light possible. If you're having trouble decluttering, and you're working with a realtor, ask them if they know somebody that could give you a staging consultation. That doesn't mean you have to, remove all your furniture. What they're going to do is work with you to rearrange your existing items to present your home the best way possible for potential buyers. Now, if you've already moved out of your home, vacant homes take longer to sell than staged homes or furnished homes. Reason being, people have no perspective. The house I was in this morning, massive house, no furniture. When I walked into the living room, dining room, kitchen combination, it was massive. Even I was like, okay, what would I put in here? Yes, staging is expensive, but it's going to get your home sold faster. It's a fact. It works. If your house is priced properly, cleaned, and staged, it will work. Your house will sell faster, and it might get you more money. That's not guaranteed, but it might. So, those are some tips to, get your home prepared for selling, to get it sold as quickly as possible. Make sure it's priced right. Make sure the curb appeal looks great, and you can wow people as soon as they walk in the door. Make sure the interior is clean, tidy, staged. And, the last thing is, if your realtor is selling your home and they're not using professional photography, or they're just popping in with an iPhone or something like that, maybe ask them about it. Maybe somebody that could take the pictures for you. Have them hire somebody, whatever it is. Make sure all those things are done, because once you've done the price right, you've got your curb appeal, you've got the interior looking great. You want it to look as great, because 92% of people shop online for a home. So your first impression is right there. So those are just my tips for getting your house sold. Hopefully you enjoy them. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. I'm just arriving at my shoot here in Fort Richmond, and I will talk to you guys in a little bit. 1:50 in the afternoon, and I'm headed to Gimli. You guys know this lady. It's Hi Heather. Earlier this morning, or today, I was talking about selling, and I wanted to talk a little bit about buying. Heather and I both went through the buying experience last year, and it can be quite stressful. One of the most important things you can do is get pre-approved for your mortgage. So talk to your mortgage broker, your bank, make sure you get a pre-approval as opposed to a pre-qualification. The pre-approval will tell you actually how much you can afford and what the bank is actually going to approve you for. The pre-qualification is just going to kind of give you a general idea, and it doesn't mean that's what the bank is going to give you for a mortgage. The pre-approval goes a little bit more in depth. For self-employed people like myself, you're going to need at least 2 years worth of tax returns. If you're regular employed, you're going to need some pay stubs and possibly your T4s. So let's get into,
And there is an expiration date on those pre-approval letters usually, so make sure you don't do it too far ahead of time, or you'll have to go do it again.
Yeah. And speaking of time, make sure you give yourself enough time to shop for a home. So if you've already listed your home, or you've already sold your home and you haven't started looking yet, you might rush into a purchase. So make sure you're giving yourself enough time to search for a home. So if you've already sold your home, make sure you talk with your realtor to set a possession date that's going to work for you. So it gives you ample time to search for a home. What else you think? Were you thinking?
We'll just...
Oh, you were talking about communities earlier.
Yeah, well, I'm not from here, so... but because of the kids and school and daycare, we kind of had to want back lane access. I wanted front drive access. We wanted a garage. You know, we had a certain number of bedrooms. We wanted, you know, full finished basement. You know, just do some brainstorming and have your wish list and be willing to compromise though.
Yeah, like, you know, that's a great point, having your wish list of all the things that you want in your home. And get them all out there. Your realtor is going to want to know all of those things, and then they're going to guide you in the right direction based on your pre-approval. You know, if you want a walkout basement on the river with stainless steel appliances and hardwood throughout, but your budget's only $250, well, you're probably not getting that. You know, I like the point about the communities. You know, we did a lot of research on the communities that we wanted to live in, and with having young children, a big importance was, you know, before and after school care. And in some of the areas, you know, they have a lot of great schools that I would, you know, love my kids to go to, but they didn't have that before and after school care. And it's something that, you know, Manitoba struggles with a little bit, is childcare. You know, getting in daycares can be a nightmare. You're on wait list forever. I know when we had our son, we were on a wait list for 4 years.
Yeah, like we'll never be able to change daycares, so
Yeah.
we're kind of stuck.
So, you know, but the kids are at the age now going
Because I still have them on lists.
Yeah.
And
You know, going forward now, as the kids get older, that changes. We might not need, you know, when they get to age 10 or something like that, you might not need the before and after school care and things like that. So, you know, that's a really, really good point. Knowing, you know, having your wish list, knowing the communities you're willing to live in or that you want to live in. And like Heather said, you know, you're going to have to compromise sometimes, you know, unless you have an unlimited budget. But, you know, say you want, you know, a brand new updated kitchen and, you know, this style of appliances and such like that. You might get your updated kitchen, but you might not get your stainless steel appliances. You might have to go with black. You know, they might have black in there. Or are you willing to allow those appliances that they have in there go, and then you're going to purchase your own? So those are all things you got to look at. One thing I think was very important to me when we purchased our last house last year was having a home inspection. Yes, it cost, I can't remember, it was $500 or something like that for the home inspection, but the home inspector was fantastic. We used Pillar to Post. They did a great job. Got a huge report, like a, you know, 100-page report on our house.
You get what you pay for
Yeah.
from them. They are one of the more expensive ones, the companies, but I think it's worth it.
But, you know, I was there with the inspector. We went through the whole house. You know, he explained to me things that could possibly need to be repaired or replaced right away. Things that might not, you know, are okay and stuff. Like a home inspection, you know, it was talked about, you know, my friend Nico on Nico's Real Estate Talk talked about the home inspection a couple episodes ago on his show. And the home inspection, they aren't going to tell you, well, this house fails, or, you know, it's awesome, or it passes. There's no grade like that. But they are going to, you know, make you aware of possible issues or the fact that the house is perfectly sound. You know, they can't see through walls. They can't, you know, check all the wiring through the house, but they're going to give you a really, really good idea on how the house is. You know, there's something called property disclosure statements that, you know, that's just the realtor, the selling or the listing agent goes through with the homeowner and kind of asks them
To the best of their knowledge.
to the best of their knowledge. So they're kind of vague questions. But if you're buying a house, I definitely recommend a home inspection. On our first house we bought in 2008, I didn't get a home inspection and I regret it.
But we wouldn't have gotten the house. I was just how the market was.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
The market was insane at that time, and having any kind of conditions probably meant that you're not going to get it, because there was pretty much always multiple offer situations, and it's just one of those things. You know, use your best judgment on what you want to do, but I highly recommend a home inspection. it's valuable information to know about your house. Like I was saying, when we purchased our house in 2008, we didn't get the home inspection, and within 2 years I had to put about $40,000 or $50,000 worth of work into our house. And like window, we knew the windows were a little older, but it was like hot water tank went, furnace went, it had no AC, the backyard needed to be landscaped. It was a lot of work, and there was just little issues here and there. We ended up finding mold that was growing in the basement crawl space. Mice. There was mice in the house. We didn't know that because they cleaned it all up before we purchased the house. We didn't know that until months and months later. There were even dead mice in the vents. So and we just had our newborn son, so that's pretty scary. So I highly recommend a home inspection. Having that wish list, knowing what area you want to live in, and having that pre-approval letter from your mortgage broker or your bank. Anything else you can think of?
No. I guess once you decide on places you want to go see, we did that. And the realtor can schedule showings, but we also just went to open houses. Without on our own.
And if you're
just make the time to do that.
Yeah. And if you're not sure what to look for when you're going to an open house by yourself, without your realtor, ask your realtor, things to look for. Google, Uncle Google as I call it. You could probably Google search, what should I look for when I go to an open house? Especially if you're purchasing privately or you're not working with a realtor, make sure you go through it, speak with your lawyer. That's the other thing. Know who you're going to be working with for your lawyer, because you've got to pay your lawyer's fees and such like that. Have a good understanding of how much it's going to cost, in the end when your closing costs come in. And I can't really think of anything else when it comes to buying a home. But those are some key tips when you're searching for your home or you're out there looking to buy. It is 3:36 in the afternoon. Just finished up in Gimli. Actually, just about 10-15 minutes past Gimli in Finns, Manitoba. Very, very cool house on the lake. If you saw my Instagram, you just kind of saw a lake view from the second story balcony. Beautiful, beautiful house. I know I say that a lot, but this one is very beautiful. What do you think?
I liked all the details, the painted tile, the wood inlay, the little back sunroom with the hot tub, and it's on the lake.
Yeah.
I would just sit out by the lake all day, except in winter. Then I would be inside watching the kids play on the ice.
So if you like sunbathing, if you like the lake life, this house is for you. It's got its own, the yard's very private. Like I said, that second story balcony with you can fit a full-size patio table on there. The sunroom with a hot tub, a modern kitchen. Very cool house. It's going to be listed by Tracy Anderson of Century21Carry.com. So I should have that up on my Facebook page. I'll have the virtual tour up in the next day or so. But if you're looking for more information, Google search Tracy Anderson with Century21Carry and give her a call. Well, guys, we are, like I said, on our way back to Winnipeg. Time to pick up our Rugrats.
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. Yeah, make some tacos. And but that's a wrap for the day. I'm gonna get home, have some tacos, play with the kids for a little bit, and then get to editing. So enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I shall see you next time. Take care.
Bye.
What it is, what it is, what it is.